Hey, Church Home Youth, welcome to weekly service. I'm so excited that you're here with us. First of all, I just can't believe that it's already April. Like, we are in April of 2024. And when I think about that, I'm like, we are halfway through the year almost, which is insane. And I'm just so excited, though, for what we're talking about this month and really just talking about who Jesus is. And for myself, I'm excited to talk about a way that Jesus has really shown up in my life, the way that his character has shown up so much that I've needed.
I needed you.
I'm just going to share a quick story with you guys really quick. When I was in 9th grade, this is kind of a sad story for me, but like we can laugh about it. So as you're hearing it, you might feel a little bit bad for me, but we'll laugh about it and it's fine. But when I was a freshman in high school, I was so excited because this group of girls that I thought were so cool. I was friends with a couple of them, but I wasn't like a part of the group, if that makes sense. But this group of girls were like, hey, Jamie, you should come with us. We're going to hang out with this other group from another school on Friday night. Like, you should come with us. We'll send you the address that night. It's like, oh, I'm so down. I'm so excited. So the whole week, I'm like excited. I'm like, these girls think I'm cool. Like, this is kind of crazy. Hey. I'm going to be a part of this group potentially. And so all week I'm pumped. My parents are like excited for me too, as any parent would be. And it gets to Friday after school. So I'm like getting ready, put on like my favorite outfit, try and make sure I look as cute as possible. And I get ready a little early just because I was so excited. And so I'm just like chilling out in the living room with my parents, watching TV. And I, text one of the girls, hey, like send me the address when you know it. I'll get dropped off. And it gets to a point where we're kind of just like waiting for a while and time is ticking and ticking and ticking and no one's texting me back. No one's sending me the address. And it gets to a point where it's been already like an hour since we were supposed to start hanging out that I definitely started getting a little disappointed. And then I went on Facebook, which was our social media back then. Okay, this is like 13, 14 years ago. So yes, I was on Facebook. We didn't have Instagram. I think it came out like the next year, but I go on Facebook and they all had posted pictures together and they were hanging out. No. And I was not there and I was not responded to. And my heart literally sunk down. I remember, even when I talk about it now, like it's so long ago, but I remember feeling so hurt, so heartbroken, like I wasn't enough, like I wasn't good enough to be a part of this group. And then thinking all those thoughts of like, wow, did they invite me just to like not actually send me the info? Like, were they just doing that to like be mean, or did they just forget about me? Whatever it was, I did not feel good about myself. And it was just to a place where I was like, what the heck? Like, made me really sad. But my parents are amazing. And I think they were heartbroken for me too. But I remember my dad being like, hey, it's okay. Let's go to Dairy Queen. We're going to get a banana split. I love a banana split. And we'll watch movies tonight. Like, we'll make it so much fun. And even though my circumstance did not change, like I was still sad. I was still pretty upset. My parents were there to comfort me. They were there to be with me. And they honestly didn't try to hype me up too much, but they just were there. And they're like, let's just go do this. We'll hang out tonight. It's not a big deal. And they just spent time with me. That story sounds sad, and it is sad. But one thing that I've realized so much in my relationship with Jesus as I've been following Jesus for the past 10 years is that Jesus has been my ultimate comforter. Like, yes, my parents comforted me in that moment and it meant the world to me, but Jesus really is our comforter. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this message today and remind you, and even if you didn't know this before, that Jesus is your comforter. That's who he is. It's in his character to comfort us. And the definition of comfort that I read online was that it's a calling near or a calling to one's side. So as much as my parents can come by my side and comfort me in that moment, Jesus is always there on our side. He is always comforting us. And there's a verse that I wanted to read to you guys that David wrote in the Psalms that has honestly stuck with me over the years. And I feel like for you as a middle school and high school student to hear this and take in these words that David says about God and who he is really going to change just your perspective in your low moments. And it's Psalm 94:19. It says this: whenever my busy thoughts were out of control, the soothing comfort of your presence calmed me down and overwhelmed me with delight. He's saying when my thoughts are out of control, do you ever have thoughts that are just out of control? You don't know what to do. You can't sleep at night. you're thinking about, the next test, or you're thinking about the way a friend treated you, or you're thinking about your parents fighting. There's so many things that can make our thoughts just go out of control. Am I good enough? Do they actually like me? Do they want to be my friend? Am I good enough to be on that sports team? In those moments, David says this: the soothing comfort of your presence calm me down. It's the comfort of his presence. The comfort of his presence is accessible at all times for us. They call God the God of endless comfort. And I don't know about you, but I need to be comforted a lot. But what I love so much about the comfort of God, the comfort of Jesus, that's different than just my parents comforting me, which is amazing, is the fact that his comfort is actually never ending. It's actually not just like eating comfort food, which I'm here for that too. I love pasta. When I need to feel good, I'm gonna have some pasta, but that only lasts for like a moment. The comfort of Jesus is for our soul. It's for the deepest parts of us, those deep pains that you're feeling. Even when I think about that 9th grade experience, which was so long ago, it makes me sad. And I'm like, okay, God, I need your comfort. Like, remind me who I am, be with me. And that's the comfort of Jesus.
Be with me.
I'm curious, as you're listening to this and hearing, okay, he can comfort me, is there an area in your life where you actually need to experience the comfort of God? Is there an area in your life that you're like, I don't necessarily go to God for comfort, I go to other things. I go to, maybe it is like a drug. Maybe you go there for comfort. Maybe it is food. Maybe it's just binge watching on Netflix. There's so many things that we can find comfort in that, yeah, might be temporary, but that's not gonna be long lasting. That's not gonna sustain you. So where in your life do you need to find the comfort of God so that he can actually comfort the deepest parts of your being that is forever? It's eternal. You're gonna always find that comfort in him. And it's really a comfort that only he can give. And you might hear that and you're like, okay, what does it look like to actually get that comfort though? And honestly, like, this is who God is. He's a comforter. And I've learned this the hard way, but in the best way. Yes, he always will provide that, but we do have a responsibility when it comes to this comfort. And it's as simple as this. It's letting him comfort you. In your life, have you let God comfort you? And honestly, in even simpler terms, that just means surrendering. Have you surrendered to the comfort of Jesus? Have you gotten to a place where you're like, you know what? Nothing else is working. God, I need your comfort. Will you comfort me in this area? There are so many moments, and I love it in the Gospels, where Jesus comforts the people around him. He goes to people and he comforts them. That means he's by their side. He's showing us in the Gospels, this is who I am. This is what I do. If you'll allow me, I'll do it. So where do you need Jesus to comfort you? Where can you let him do that? And that is my first point, is to just surrender to his comfort. Let him comfort you. Give it to him. Let him take care of you. Let him be next to you. There's nothing like having someone just sit with you. When you're going through something, they don't necessarily need to say anything and just be with you. Jesus is always near and he's always wanting to comfort you. So I want to encourage you to let him in, let him do that. Before we end, there's one thing that I also love when it comes to the teachings of Jesus and looking at the way that Jesus lived his life. And over again, you just always see that our faith is not just about us. And there's a verse that I wanted to read in 2 Corinthians. And my second point before I read it is that our comforting that we experience enables us to comfort. And in 2 Corinthians 1, it's a little bit of a long one, but it's really good. Paul is talking and he says this: all praises belong to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, for he is the Father of tender mercy and the God of endless comfort. So we've said this. He is the God of comfort. We've talked about that over and over and over again. And then it says this: he always comes alongside us to comfort us in every single suffering. And here's the catch: so that we can come alongside those who are in any painful trial. We can bring them this same comfort that God has poured out upon us. And just as we experience the abundance of Christ's own suffering, even more of God's comfort will cascade upon us through our union with Christ. And he even goes a little bit deeper into this, which I feel like that's already clear. It's like, okay, when I've experienced God's comfort, I'm actually able to comfort other people. And that's actually the call of our life, is to do that. He says, if troubles weigh us down, that just means we will receive even more comfort to pass on to you for your deliverance. For the comfort pouring into us empowers us to bring comfort to you. And then he says, and with this comfort upholding you, you can endure victoriously the same suffering that we experience. Now our hope for you is unshakable because we know that just as you share in our sufferings, you will also share in God's comforting strength.
My God, you're strong.
Listen to Paul's language here. He's literally saying, and this is not like, this is kind of countercultural. He's saying that if troubles weigh us down, that means that we're going to actually be able to experience more comfort for you. The comfort that I've experienced empowers me to comfort you. That's kind of a wild statement, but when we really think about it, it makes sense. When we go through something, when we go through a trial, it's easier for us to relate to someone who's went through a similar thing. And when we've experienced the comfort of Jesus, and I know in my life I have experienced his comfort so near in those hard seasons, I'm now able to give that comfort to other people. I just want to ask you before we end this, who is it in your life that could use this comfort? How can you first surrender to God and his comfort, let him comfort you, and then who can you pass that comfort on? Is there someone at school who you've noticed they've been a little off lately? Is there someone maybe in the lunchroom who never has anyone sitting by them? Is there someone that has been struggling on your sports team? Maybe it's your mom that needs your comfort. That might sound silly, but maybe your mom has been so stressed out at work and it would mean the world to her if you just sat down with her and was like, how are you, mom? How are you actually doing? Like, just being there with someone makes such a difference. And so I want to encourage you, after you listen to this and you're talking with your friends, who is it in your life? And pray about this. Who can I comfort? Who can I actually show the love of Jesus to by comforting them and just being with them?
Everything's gonna be okay.
I really think that the more that we do this, we can show the people around us who Jesus is. We let him comfort us, and then we comfort other people. And more people are going to want to know, why are they comforting me? I think I want to know this Jesus. And I'm really excited for what that's going to look like in Church Home Youth as we foster this community, as we continue to love each other the way that Jesus loves us. We love you so much, Church Home Youth. I'm so excited to see you next time. We'll see you next week.